Hi there, welcome to the HTM buddy build of the U.S.S. Reliant. I'm Ken with Ken's Hobby Bench.
And I'm Jordan with a line in the stars.
Well, Jordan,
Oh, yeah,
another week.
buddy. Another week, and I not to rub it in, but forward progress.
I know
Forward progress.
I don't see that progress yet.
Yes. It's interesting. Like everything getting through customs, like UPS versus USPS, like the postal service versus a private company. You get two different results. So, like, Will shipped your parts out last week, and you're kind of waiting for them any moment. If everything works out, the parts that I shipped you just yesterday might arrive tomorrow.
I am
I
hoping so.
I don't know how. And I did it through like pirateship.com, and so it was relatively cheap also to almost get like expedited international service to, so which is pretty awesome. So you definitely have some parts arriving, and they're not really going to help you. On that front, however, I should have just said this while we're backstage, but while we're here recording, there are only 4 of those little resin, little like tiny LED things that
Cups.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little cups. So there's only 4 in there. I am going to ask Donnie. Yes, I'm going to ask Donnie if he can print some more of those out for us. I got a couple other things that I need him to print for like the Enterprise D build and stuff like that. So I'm going to have him probably print out another, probably, I don't know. I was thinking like maybe 16 each, so that we
I
have. And
I don't know
do
that
you
we
think?
need that many though.
Okay, how many do you think we need?
Well, the next set you send me is good for back here
Yeah,
on our the
tractor beam emitters.
thank you tractor beam
Yeah,
emitters.
yeah,
Thanks to Jody for showing us that.
yes,
And then I
indeed.
think maybe just one more set, and that would be it. Another
Well,
4 after that.
well, what about all of your all of the different beacons, the nav beacons, and all of that? Are you not going to do those around there?
I don't think they'll fit
Oh, yeah. You know what? You're
close to the
right.
edge.
Yeah, and we should probably use SMDs for those anyway. So it's
Yeah.
a very good point. Okay, so maybe just have them print
I
out
would
like
have
maybe
had
4
them.
more.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Maybe just have them print out like 4 more for you.
Yeah, I think 4 more would do.
Okay.
Because I think 2 for right at the back here on
Yep.
either side of the impulse crystal. Um, there's going to be 2 back here, but I don't think we can put them there because we have these here
Yeah.
as grills.
Yeah.
So by the time that's in there, it's going to be a tight area, and I think that's going to have to be SMDs.
Yeah. SMDs are probably just going to be the way to go for sure.
Yeah. And had I had them, I would have put one on each of these beacon lights back here. So I think 3 sets, if a person is printing them off for himself, should suffice.
Okay.
If you have your own 3D printer, then it's not a concern. You can always print off more at any time. But if you're having to get them from someone else, I'd say get at least 3 sets of 4. Should do you.
Awesome. We should definitely pass that along to Cass for the complete set of parts when he gets them all printed out when you buy the whole set. So that's actually a good thing to know.
Yeah.
And those ones, are those ones actually going to be available from Cass, or those ones, or were those just from Will? I think those were just from Will.
I think they're just from Will.
Well, if you guys are interested, like we hit up Will at the Ensign's chair, or you can hit up either one of us at either one of our channel links down below, and we'd be more than glad to share that STL for you as well. So,
Yes.
yeah. And on that front, for the parts that I got put in place, you're going to note a couple of things. He scaled things properly, Ken. And so when you cut out the stock parts, it is going to leave some gaps back
Okay.
behind. I don't know if that was done intentionally or not, but a couple of the spots, like I kind of traced around and cut properly, but there was still a little bit of gapping. So there's going to be some putty work that needs to happen. At least for me, maybe you might want to be a little more careful with it, but for whatever reason, there were some gaps, even though everything kind of lined up properly. So I will say, however, that having the little grills and having this piece actually sitting properly flush with the bottom of the hull and having that little grill on the front up here just looks so much better.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm looking at the stock kit piece, and it's just
Nothing.
not
It's
up
all
compared.
it's Ken doll smooth, right?
Yeah.
Like it is definitely it is some Ken doll crotch for sure. So these parts really did turn out well. And I guess kind of a good segue. I'll go ahead and start with what I'm going to be doing this week, and that's going to be the nacelles. My plan this week is to get the nacelles completely assembled and ready to install them. So that means all of the electronics put in place, everything glued in, everything test fitted, and then pull the tape off and see how she glows. So that's going to be the plan. And here are said fins
Ooh,
for
nice.
the outside of the nacelles. So we're going to be getting those put in place. So when you get these, Ken,
Yes.
um, you're going to get the clear piece. So they're two separate pieces. So the clear and then the black. He installed these two for you, but then also includes a couple of extras in case something happens.
Oh, right
When
on.
he installed him, however, they are not glued in place. So I just put a spot of glue on the pin and then inserted it, and then it wound up sticking in place just fine. But everything is really nice. What you're going to need to do, however, is do a little cleanup along the inside. I still need to do that cleanup from where the pin kind of goes in to get it flat. So he did clean up most of the parts pretty well. Still a little sanding needs to happen in there, but these fins turned out really, really good. And if we take them, I haven't done any of the work yet. I haven't recorded the episode, but this is the fin for this side. When you put it up against the hole or put it up against the part here, you can see that it actually it matches the angle and takes away. Oh, of course. And where the stock part on the fin is flat, this one actually has a bit of an angle to it.
Nice.
And it is 100% correct. So it's going to be set down a little bit, obviously, but this is a really nice piece. And you can see it's perfect. Like it really well designed. Will does an amazing job of getting these parts. So that's the plan for me. I'm going to be going through and getting these nacelles all taken care of and put together. I know I got some fiber optics. I may be changing my mind and going over to SMDs. So we'll experiment a little bit during the video and kind of see how it turns out. And I did do the paint over the top. I used the same Vallejo. I matched up like literally the same product code, the metallic black. And Ken, yours turned out so much less shiny than mine. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. Now, obviously, this is over the top of the primer coat, so I'm not too worried about it, but it is really, really shiny if you can see that. So you know, something was telling me I've been looking at this color for a while, and I've never actually had a chance to use it. I might just go with some Phantom Gray from the Vallejo Mecha series. It's a nice dark gray.
Yep.
I may just go with that. So I don't know. Like it just seems like it's too bright and shiny for me. So it's going to be getting the nacelles done, correcting the paint, and a little bit of ASMR with pulling some tape. That's what I'm going to be getting done. So after I've said a bunch of words, what about you?
Well, as you know, Jordan, we were talking before we started our show here, and I am waiting for a lot of parts. So right now, I think my episode may be a little shorter, which is good. My last episode again was a large one; it was an hour. Um, but what I've done is I've ordered some more stuff. So I've ordered JST connectors for this a planetary sensor on the bottom,
Nice.
because as I had mentioned in my video, you don't want to attach this until after you've painted your Aztec pattern on the bottom because you want this to cover that up where the pattern ends. So I've gone ordered that. For the Raytheon effect, so far is looking really good. So what I've done is I've ordered some, what was it I told you I ordered?
Filament LEDs.
Thank you very much. Filament LEDs to go in here because there's not that much room. So I'm going to try doing that. So I may router a little bit more space in here on this episode. And I know I need to resistor my bridge again, just to put some different resistors. I don't want it as bright as like a maximum red light. So I think it's going to be a lot of cleanup and preparation, including getting ready for maybe the RCS thrusters. But that may all change if tomorrow morning I wake up and go to my door and I have a bunch of parts there.
Yep, that's exactly what happened to me. I'm like, ooh, I got parts. Let's make forward progress. Screw everything else. Awesome.
So that's
Awesome.
kind of the plan for me. Could possibly shift gears, like I said, finish off. I'd like to finish off the nacelles so I can kind of get them closed up at least.
Yep.
You know, and then if I get a chance to begin starting with some of the lighting once we get Donnie's parts in here. So yeah, I think that's the alternate option of what may happen. So resistors for sure on this, and then we'll see where we go after that.
Awesome. Oh, it's yeah, it seems like fairly par for the course. Like we're at the same spot and yet not. You've just gotten a lot more lighting done, which is pretty awesome. Actually, I'm excited about that for you. So I keep thinking about the Raytheon effect, and I'm still far enough back that I may be able to pull it off. So we'll see.
Well, and
We
I've been
shall see.
finding when I do get overspray on my Raytheon effect, I can come in with just a like a Q-tip or cotton swab just in here and just clean up my Raytheon area every time.
Nice.
So if you got yours light blocked and everything, it's not too late. I mean, I used cob LED strips in here with a piece of sprue to balance the light in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So it's evenly balanced in between both sides. So it's not out of the question that you could go back and do this.
Okay.
If you
Good to know.
decide to.
Yeah, that's one of those things where like the results are starting to look really good, so I may just have to.
Yeah. The only one I have yet to do though, like I said, is just here on the pylon. So hopefully the filament LEDs will do the job well. And yeah, if not, I'll have to see about using maybe a couple SMDs.
There you go.
So yeah.
All right. Well, seems like we got our work cut out for us. Look forward to seeing what you get done this week.
I look forward to seeing your progress too, because I'm gonna watch your video and see how to put those fins in.
Yep. I can't wait to figure that out. Well, my friend, I will see you at the bench. I hope you have a good one.
Thank you, and you too. Okay, so here we are the next day from recording our intro with Jordan, and look what I got in the mail. All these wonderful parts from Will, and all the wonderful parts from Donnie. So thank you, Will, very much for going out of the way to do that, and thank you, Donnie, as well, very much for printing these out for us. It's really awesome. So now that changes what we can do. So instead of me showing you doing the resistoring on the bridge area here, you've seen me do resistoring, so I can do that off screen. Shouldn't be an issue. Things we can work on now are the fins. I think the fins is going to be the first thing I'll work on, followed up by these parts here for the bottom, just like that. So that's something to look for. Now we do have other parts coming from Will yet. that we forgot to ask for the first time. So things we have coming from Will for another time will be the clear versions of these vents, I believe, and as well as the replacement impulse engine deck area here. So we'll have those replacements as well as a few other smaller add-ons as well. So what I'm going to do here is kind of clean up some stuff. I'll get my warp nacelles ready to go, and we'll work on getting the fins cut out and putting in our new fins. So I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see here we have our parts here from Will. Thank you very much, Will. That's the ensign's chair. For all of you who may be joining in a little late, you can go check him out at the ensign's chair. And these parts will be available from Cass over at Lake Monster Detail. You can see his logo right here in the corner of the screen. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cut these fins out here that exist already, and we're going to replace them with the ones that Will has provided us. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my sonic saber. I'll cut down kind of flush, and then I'll cut in after. So let's take our sonic saber here. Yeah, looks like it's working. So let's try it this way. A little bit easier with the angle. Make sure I'm on camera for the viewers at home. And we will just come in here. Just kind of score our first line in here. Like that. And we'll come across again. Now, because this is vibrating at ultrasonic speeds, it does cause the plastic to melt a bit. Oh. And you want to be careful, unlike I just was, and make sure you stick to just the fin itself. There we go. How's that coming along? There we go. Now you could also use a hobby saw if you want. You could use your Dremel or some other sort of rotary cutting tool as well would work. There we go. We're coming through. I'm gonna jut out here a bit and just try to remove this section if I can. Just like that. And then we'll come back around here. So we're gonna take a look where this cuts off, like that. And slowly work at it. I mean, this is faster than other methods, but you know, don't rush it. We got time. Make sure I'm far enough out here that you guys can still see. There we go. How are we doing there? There we go. Kind of what I wanted was to still have the bit of a lip here to show me where this is going to end up going, like that. Now I'm going to start to sand this down. I got a very aggressive sander here. Kind of knock that down a bit, and then we can come in here. And you know, technically, I don't think we even need to remove like this whole thing into an opening. I think what we could end up doing is just have an opening here at this little corner for our light. I think that might be the best first step I'll try. So right now I'm just knocking down the heavy bits of plastic that are still remaining, and then I'll come in here with a finer sanding set of sanding sticks and to better shape it and not remove as much material. So I'm going to keep going away at this, and I'll come back and show you when I have some more progress. All right, so you can see I have this all sanded down nicely. Now, a thing to note, these fins are side specific. If we look really closely here, you can see they have a slant molded in. So this one would go on this side here. And when it goes in, it will match up with the slope of the back of the nacelle, like this. Whereas this one here would not do that, and in fact you'd end up with a big ugly kind of gap. So just make sure you have the right one for the right side, something to keep in mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this in here, like something like this. And you can see this is already popping out, the clear part. So what I'll end up doing is I'll end up taking it out. Now be careful because this is very thin resin in here. And what I'll do is I'll glue this into place, and then I can come in here with my rotary tool and I can drill down through here with the whatever drill bit seems to be the best size, and then I can run this through that hole and have my yellow LED shining through from the other side. So that is what I'm going to be doing. So what I'll do for now is I will get my other nacelle with the fin. I'll get the fin cut off, get it sanded down as well to that same stage, and then I can kind of do both at the same time. So I'll get that all set up and I'll be back here shortly. Alright, so I have both parts cleaned up now, and you can see I have some medium viscosity CA glue. Now I'm going to just come in here and just put some on here a little bit. Just like that. And now I still can kind of see where the original part was, which is good. I'm just going to pin that down just to start with. Oops. And then I'll start gluing as I go. Now what I can do is I can use a little bit of kicker. Yeah, here's the clear part I pulled out. Will was kind enough to give us a couple spares, so if we need to. Now this part here is just, the one I got is a little bit warped, but that's okay. Not so warped that glue wouldn't be able to pin it down. And if it was an issue, I could always put it in some really hot water there and straighten it out. But there we have it. Now I may need to put a little bit of, you know what I should have done? I should have actually cleaned up these parts before I put them on, because there are some of the dimpling on there from the sprue, or the attachment points, from the casting attachment points. So maybe keep an eye on that. I make the mistakes so you don't have to. So there we go. A little bit better. There we go. But we'll keep going along here now and adding. Like I know I'm going to have to come in here afterwards with a little bit of putty, or filler, I should say, and fill the gap. That's something I always knew was going to have to be done, so I'm not too concerned, because the idea is to make it look like the original so that it's 100% joined, so that there's no question whether or not it was joined or not. Okay, we'll take a little bit more kicker, and we'll keep holding it for just a little bit longer, just to allow that to join in. I can also go along, if need be, and use a little CA glue on the seam as well. For now, I will get that in there best I can. Still a bit of a tiny gap, which is good. There we go. How are we looking on the top? Looking good, as you can see here. So, as I drag my parts through my CA glue, I was just lucky enough that they floated just over. There we go. So I don't want extra bits kicking around in there. I'll take a little bit more accelerant, and there we go. So that's one of them installed just like that. You can see it's looking really nice. I'm not seeing, I can see a little bit of gap right here where the clear part's going to go in. I think that's about it. I think otherwise we're good. And like I said, I'll come in. I won't use the Mr. Dissolve putty on this. I'll probably use something a little thicker. We'll see, maybe, but I'm thinking more of a putty based instead of the dissolved putty. So I'll get the other one put on here, and we'll come back and we'll look at putting a couple little holes in here. All right, so here we are with our rotary tool. I have a 1mm drill bit in here. Now, as a note, this is actually a square shape, or more of a rectangle shape. It's not a round, but I can kind of work at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to start the rotary tool until I have this down all the way in place and touching the model itself, the original model piece. And then I'll work at it. So I'm just checking, because I may have gotten some extra material in there from the CA glue. So, and the kicker. So I'm just checking, seems to be good. Now, because I have a foot pedal in here, I can go really super slow with this. You could also use a pin vise if you want, which actually might be a better solution if you have something that's really doesn't have the ability to go super slow. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to go super slow, because I don't want to go sideways into the resin. There we go, that's through. So I'll stop, and I'll come in at the other side end of the rectangle. And again, go really slow. And just following that same angle. Now I'm just kind of trying to clear out the entire length. Now you can see I got a little bit of plastic escaped. So that's telling me I may not have the best of gaps there. So that might be, like I said, there was a little gap on the other one as well, just beside the light area. Not a big deal, just a little dust actually. So putty will be my friend. And then here we have our hole right here. So that's where our yellow LED is going to need to go. So actually an SMD might work better, or an LED with a little bit of fiber optic cable, as we had used some in the last episode. Now that we have the parts from Donnie, we could even possibly use one of these. Let's see if one of these would work if we needed to. Yeah, I mean, we could use a LED, like a red, sorry, not a red, a yellow LED in here, like we did up for our spotlights over here, and just shape it a little bit. So that is an option. And I want to be able to provide you all with, options of how to do this. You may decide that, no, I'll do like we did over here, which we had the light, and then we just drilled in a fiber optic line into it. So that is also an option. But if we take now our clear part that Will gave us, make sure it goes in the right way so that it matches the angle. Let's see here. Yeah. There we have it. Again, just a little bit of kind of dust escaping. Not a big deal. We'll use some putty, like I said, I've been saying. Now, this may not be coming 100% flush, just because this is a little bit proud of that hole on the back side. So what I could do is ever so carefully just give it a couple strokes on the old sanding stick here. See if we can't bring that down just a hair. And insert it again and see where that puts us. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Yeah. And how is it looking from the bottom side? Yeah, I think we're good. So let us get ourselves a little light and we'll test it out. So I'll be right back with a light. Okay, so here I have a yellow LED resistor at 100 ohms, and we've got our hole come through here. I did take the router bit and router it out a little bit so that this can fit in here. The other option is to put a little piece of fiber optic cord or cable in here and run it into there, but just looking, well, it's going to need some more light blocking again, but you can, when the light is pointed properly, you can see it coming through on our RCS thruster, which is really nice. So I'm happy with that, and I think we can do the same on the other side. So what I'll do now is I will wire up another yellow LED at 100 ohms, and I'll let them burn in for 24 hours. In the meantime, I'll get this other RCS thruster area cleaned out and get it ready as well. So I'll get that done and we'll come back and we'll start working on the bottom of our main saucer. Okay, so what we have here is the bottom of our main hull, and we're gonna put in these parts that Will sent. And to do so, we're gonna have to remove the original ones. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in from the inside and cut in there. That'll leave us a little bit of a lip here that we can clean up. So that is how I'm gonna approach that. So let's come in here. Again, we'll just score it. Just kind of cut about here. Oh yeah, we're gonna need to remove more later, so, but that's good. There we go. Let's see if that's all the way through. Looks like it. So, but unfortunately, it does melt the plastic, so it does fuse back together. So let's try to do that again. And do that. Push down again. There we go. So that just removes that part. And that'll allow us to keep working at this now, and then we can sand back. So I'm going to kind of come in at an angle here. Take my finger away from the blade, clean my blade up here. All that melted plastic on there. Okay, so let's come in here. And I don't want to go to the bottom, if anything, like that. So let's stay away from the bottom part of it. Because I'd rather sand my way to the finish. And kind of, as I like to say, sneak up on it. So, I'll keep cutting away at this. Why does that ever melt? Turns it into goo almost. Alright, there we go. So we're getting closer, almost getting to the point now where we're going to be able to start to sand. So, let's see how we are on the back. So the back we're good. So the back, the sides, okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work away at, I may use various tools. I may use some sprue cutters a little bit here to, nip some stuff out and then do some sanding. But the good thing about the Sonic Saber is able to remove a good chunk and give me a good base to work out of. So I'll clean this all up and then I'll come back and we'll take a look and see what we've got. Alright, so we have our hole all cleaned up now. I found the best combination was the rotary tool, cutting in the little holes after I'd removed the main portion. And then in between the holes, just coming in with the Sonic Saber, cleaning it up. And then just following in with some different grades of sanding sticks. So here we can see we have our part, and it just goes on there ever so nicely. And I think it's just going to be just a hair touch of putty just to make sure that there are no light leaks. So, but as you can see, looking really good. So what I'll do is I'll go around much like Jordan did, and I'll clean out these other parts here and I'll get them ready to go as well. Alright, so you can see here I've carried on. I've got the second one of these put on, and then I got this area attached next. I did this one on the HTM stream, Friday night stream. When I did cut this area out though, it did cause this round, I don't know if it's the underside of the impulse crystal or whatever it may be. It did come off, so I had to reattach it. So I was able to kind of sand in a little bit, including a little bit of this. When I originally glued this part down though, it did shift on me, so I did have to remove it using a little debonder, and this little corner piece did pop off, but it glued back on really nice, and you can hardly tell. So it's looking really good. I'm really happy with it. I did manage to get these vents lined up with the little channels here, so looking really good. So what I'll do is I'll throw a little bit of gray primer on there and we'll see how this area looks. Now I did go from underneath because there was some gappage, mostly around this because it did have to get moved. So I did come in from underneath and I did use some Tamiya putty, and I just kind of used the tube to smoosh it in, and anything extra that came out I smoothed out. And then going along the sides of these parts here, I came in with a little Viejo plastic putty, put it in there, and it was still wet. I took a moist Q-tip and I just cleaned it all up, which kind of forces it in the areas, just like in the seams and stuff, and that way you don't really have to sand anything. So it's all good now. For these areas here though, I did take some of my, still wet, I did take some of my tulip slick right here just to kind of light block everything, make sure everything's good, and now it is looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and put on a little gray primer in this back area here, and we're going to see how it looks. So I'll be right back. All right, so here I am out of the spray booth. I've just kind of painted from here back. I just used some Viejo surface primer with a little bit of the airbrush flow improver and the airbrush thinner. So that's all I used. It's probably still a little bit wet, but kind of gives you an idea of how it turned out. And as you can see, I think it's looking really good. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I may need to come into and grab a pointer into just this little bit of a seam down in here. Maybe put a little bit more putty in there, and then I can go around and give it another shot of primer. But yeah, no, it's looking really good. I'm really happy with that. I did some lighting work on my bridge. For changing the resistors on that, so that's coming along really good. And now with the warp nacelles done, and I've got the yellow LEDs burnt in. For the next episode, I can look at closing it all up and having it ready to go. So I'm going to end it here just for simplicity's sake, and so as not to go on too far next week now with all the light boxes from Donnie in and everything else. I can start recording earlier in the week before Jordan and I film our segment, and I'll probably try to get some of the light boxes in. I did clean up the RCS thruster clear parts, so now light will go through there. All I did is take a Q-tip with some, I believe I used some Mr. Color leveling thinner, lacquer thinner, just to clean those off. So I'm happy with that. So that'll be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to go check out Cass over at Lake Monster Detail here for all these great parts. You should be able to get them soon, I hope. And thanks again to Will from the Ensign's Chair for providing us with these wonderful parts. And also, don't forget to go check out Jordan over at Aligning the Stars and see how he's made out this week. So, again, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the HT. Oh. Dun, 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 dun.